a slide up. And to her we shall return like a drop of rain flowing to the ocean. Isis, Astarte, Diana, Hecate, Demeter, Kali, Inanna. Isis, Astarte, Diana, Hecate, Demeter, Kali, Inanna. We all come from the goddess, and to her we shall return like a drop of rain flowing to the ocean. Hello, my friends. I want to begin today by acknowledging that I am on the unceded ancestral land of the First Peoples of Seattle, the Duwamish past and present, and I honor with gratitude the land itself and the Duwamish Nation. Now, I know that what I'm about to say is an understatement, but I have really noticed how heavy it is out there, like everywhere, as if everyone that I know is grappling with something really difficult and tough, and then all of that is happening in the larger context of all the difficulties that we've had in recent years. And so it feels almost like the heaviness was collecting, like it's shoring up, and we're starting to kind of, or maybe it's just me, just starting to feel like under the weight of it. So we are facing some tough stuff, there's no doubt about it, and that's why we need to keep tending to our faith to support us as onward we go. So if the wisdom of nature inspires and soothes you, then you have come to the right place, because this is where we tend to our minds and our hearts and our souls and we find peace together in shared community, shared and loving community. So I'm Reverend Judith Laxer, and I am so honored that you've chosen to spend an hour or so of your time here with me and this community in Gaia's Temple. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you so much for coming in person too. That makes a big, big difference for us. So I'm going to invite our board president on up, Reverend Karina Frenzel, who's got some announcements for us. Ladies and gentlemen, the Reverend Karina Frenzel.
See, and I don't even need to move the mic today. There we go. So just a few announcements about our upcoming Gaia's Temple events and business. Firstly, please take a moment to silence your cell phones if you haven't already. So thank you very much. So the board of directors for Gaia's Temple had hoped to have most of our congregation back with us in person by now. It's been the better part of a year since we've returned to this sanctuary, yet less than half of our congregation has returned with us. Instead, we find that we are struggling to sustain ourselves. What the ministry needs is 100 people who donate $30 a month in order to sustain it, and especially to keep renting this beautiful sanctuary space. If we don't reach this status by the end of the year, we'll need to make some changes so that we could sustain ourselves. We have every intention of keeping Gaia's Temple going, but how and when and where we do it will be up for consideration in making alternative plans. So if you want us to continue meeting here, then please join us in person, and please consider donating $1 a day to help us. For ease, you can automate your tax-deductible donations via PayPal or through your bank so you don't have to remember each month. The support you offer is greatly appreciated, now more than ever. Thank you so much. Our magical spiral dance Samhain celebration will be right here in this sanctuary, Saturday, October 28th at 7 p.m. It's the first time we're meeting in person since the pandemic started. Woot, woot, woot. So all the details you need to know about the event can be found through the event page on our website. You could purchase the tickets there as well, or you could bring a check made out to Gaia's Temple or exact cash to purchase your entry at the door. It is a potluck, so please feel free to bring food and drink to share. We also need lots of volunteers to help with the spiral dance. We need help with setup and cleanup, moving the chairs, restoring the sanctuary afterwards, and hanging the lights. Please sign up to volunteer at the networking table in the lobby. And we need help, we need you, and we need you big time. Thank you in advance. Looking ahead to November, in addition to our usual second Sunday service on the 12th, we will be selling our handcrafted holiday wreaths on the Sunday before Thanksgiving. So you can go to our website to place your order. Click on November 19th calendar page to find it. And we're also making them out of donated greens. So if you plan to prune your evergreens and can wait until that third week of the month so we could take the clippings, that would be ideal. Thank you, and please let Reverend Judith know. Also in November, we will be participating in Giving Tuesday, which is a Tuesday after Thanksgiving on November 28th. We are planning to host 2 Zoom meetings that day as a way to promote our campaign, one at noon and one at 7 p.m. During that time, Reverend Judith will be interviewing some wonderful people in pagan leadership. She has already secured Constance Tippett for one of them. There will be time to chat about our ministry, to ask questions of our guests and Reverend Judith, and of course, we hope you will give big yourself. Be sure to sign up for our email newsletter so you get all the information and links to stay in the loop. And we are back on social media. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So in the end, we lost over 6,000 contacts for Gaia's Temple since we've been hacked. So we are now in rebuild mode. You can help by following Gaia's Temple Seattle, our new page, and by sharing it with your friends and family. We're also on Instagram, again as Gaia's Temple Seattle, so please find and follow us. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you in advance. And lastly, please stay for fellowship immediately after the service. We have some wonderful goodies to eat and partake in. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you, Reverend Karina. And one thing that I want to add in there about the wreaths, the wreaths are not actually up on the website to order yet. That was the one thing I did not get to this week. But, you know, most people don't think about wreaths until after Samhain, so we're good. It will be up on the website for sure, but if you go there today, you won't find it, just to let you know. Bad Reverend Judith didn't get it on the website. All right, so we always start with a song to kind of get the energy moving, and this is a beautiful song we've sung again and again. The chorus is up, Noemi will put it up on the little wall there, and the chorus goes like this, and this is where all of you are going to join in on, and it goes like this. It's a song for Samhain, which is spelled Samhain, and it is pronounced many different ways. We say Samhain, I think in Gaelic it's Samhain, and in this song they pronounce it Samhain, so that's how we're going to sing it. And the chorus goes like this. Samhain, Samhain, and we call this night Samhain, 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 call this magic night Samhain. Through a doorway of a dream, beneath the spell the darkness spins. 2 worlds entwine in shadow and sheen, and winter beckons welcome in. Samhain, Samhain, and we call this night Samhain, 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 call this magic night Samhain. Farewell to summer, her moment fades. She sinks to silence and to sleep. Too late the wind cries, too late, too late. A father sighs, a mother weeps. Samhain, Samhain, and and we call this night Samhain. Samhain, Samhain, call this magic night Samhain. Through the pines the wind blows cold, a mournful moon hangs pale and white. We raise our wine to the wandering souls who walk along with us tonight. Samhain, Samhain, and we call this night Samhain. Samhain, Samhain, call this magic night Samhain. So we'll continue to create our sacred space now. If you would, close your eyes, go within. Let's take a nice deep breath together. And take a moment now and call all the pieces and parts of you home. So any part of you that is projected into your future or stuck anywhere in your past or distracted by any of the things that life can distract us with, just call all the pieces and parts of you home so that you can be here now. Bring yourself to full presence in this moment. And then take another deep breath into that presence. And as you exhale, begin to ground yourself to the earth by imagining a line of energy that extends from the base of your spine downward straight toward the earth, down through the chair that you're sitting in, through the floor and the foundation of the building, and deep into our beautiful Mother Earth. Feel how she opens to receive you as you ground yourself deeply to her, dropping that line of energy in deeper and deeper till it gets to where it needs to go. And then when it reaches that point, send out smaller little branches, reaching out and taking hold. Imagine now that those rootlets and your main taproot become porous and start to drink the energy of Mother Earth into them, in and up. And know that what you're drinking in from her is her nourishment and her sustenance and her strength and her beauty, and most of all, her unconditional love. The unconditional love of the Mother comes up inside you, and keep drawing her up, up, up. Let her transfer over into your spine. Keep drawing her all the way up till she reaches your heart. And when she gets there, let her rest. Breathe deeply to make more room for her. Good. And leave the energy of Mother Earth resting there in your heart. And now, in your mind's eye, look to the heavens and find the moon. She is waning now in the sign of Leo, and draw that old fiery moon down onto you and into you. Drink her in through your crown and feel as her silvery light pours down through your head, through your neck, into your chest and into your heart. And when the moon reaches your heart, breathe deeply so that now the earth and the moon reside there together. So spacious, so beautiful. We'll let them rest here as we look to the heavens once more to find the sun, who is in Libra now, and draw that balanced, fair-minded, beautiful golden sun who shines for all, down onto you and into you, and draw that golden light, radiant and protective, down through your head, same pathway as the moon took, into your heart. And once more, breathe deeply. Now we each hold the earth, the sun, and the moon in our heart. And in a moment, I'm going to ask us to take a deep collective breath together And when we exhale, let's use our exhalation to push these energies straight forward outside of our bodies. We'll imagine them swirling all around us and filling this sanctuary, creating our safe and sacred space. So here we go. Deep breath. And out it goes. In this way, we say we have stepped between the worlds. What is between the worlds is not affected by the worlds, but can heal and transform. And so we say, our circle is cast in perfect love and perfect trust. Blessed be. All right, so we're going to sing in the elements now. I'll invite Roxy to come on up. She's going to light the candles as we go. And we start with Earth in the North. Spirits of the earth, carry me. Spirits of the earth, carry me home. Spirits of the earth, carry me home to my heart. And to air in the east. Spirits of the air, carry me. Spirits of the air, carry me home. Spirits of the air, carry me home to my heart. Fire in the south. Spirits of the fire, carry me. Spirits of the fire, carry me home. Spirits of the fire, carry me home to my heart. Water in the west. Spirits of the water, carry me. Spirits of the water, carry me home. Spirits of the water, carry me home to my heart. Spirit in the center. Spirits of the center, carry me. Spirits of the center, carry me home. Spirits of the center, be home to my heart. Thank you. Go ahead and give us a chime, will you? Ah, there we go. Very good. So satisfying, that little chime. Thank you, Roxy. So we'll put up the words to the invocation now. Noemi, can you put them up there for us? We'll all read this together in unison. Abracadabra. I'll be here all week. Crone, goddess of wisdom, be with us. Beautiful elder of experience, be with us. Midwife of the mysteries, be with us. Truth teller, guide of compassion, loving comfort, be with us. Today we seek to embrace the great mystery, be with us. To open to your presence at the threshold, be with us. To trust the turning of the wheel, be with us. We gather on this fine day to be in your presence, be with us. Blessed be. Blessed be indeed. So this is where we ask everyone to stand on up and say hello and greet each other, meet somebody new, get somebody's name you haven't met before. It's just us. It's all right. Shake hands and say hi there. Very good, lovely, you did it, woohoo! So I'm going to ask all the people that were born in the month of October, do we have any birthday people here in this month? Month of October, all right, we have one. So Matey's turning 70 this month. That's awesome. So we're going to sing the first verse, and then you go through on the second verse. Okay, matey? Here we go. When you're magic, anything can happen when you're magic. You're a shining star, listen to the moonlight, call your name. You know who you are. Believe, go ahead, matey. Let it carry you to wonders near and far. Love is magic, love is true, love is who you are. When you're magic, anything can happen when you're magic. You're a shining star, listen to the moonlight, call your name. You know who you are. Woo! Well, the technical goddess who was going to be changing that slide so everyone could see the lyrics decided to come and be part of the bridge instead. Oh,
It was there.
the whole thing was there?
Yeah.
Oh, well, see, what do I know? I thought it was in 3 different things. All right. Are we ready for the podcast to begin? She's wearing a million hats today. I'm grateful. All right. I always think of this time of the year as the crone time of the year. The year is getting older, and so is she. So, as you probably guessed by now, we worship the goddess in all of her emanations and manifestations in Gaia's temple. And she has many and varied manifestations. I think that can be part of what's so confusing, and disconcerting about goddess worship for those who are used to monotheism, because she's known by 10,000 names in cultures all over the world. And in the big picture, she is Mother Earth herself, she whom the Greeks called Gaia, hence our name Gaia's temple. And she's also known as a triple goddess, as maiden, mother, and crone. Now, in our more recent history, we have added the title queen in there between mother and crone, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later. But this triple aspect of who she is at the root of the magic of the number 3, for those of you who are into numerology like I am. 3 is the number of manifestation. We might think of the numbers 1 and 2 as the mama and the papa, and then 3 is the result of their union, the manifestation of their union, we might say. She is this triple goddess because she is spirit made manifest. And this triple aspect of the goddess is in direct relation to our aliveness, the fact that we are alive, which is a result, or a manifestation, we might say, of what comes down to us, heartbeat by heartbeat, in our bloodlines. It is the blood of the ancients that flows through our veins, and the forms pass, but the circle of life remains. That's the chant we use at our Samhain ritual. It's so true. Every word of that chant is absolutely true. These are indeed the greatest of mysteries, because birth and death are the thresholds into and out of this life, which are the greatest mysteries we will ever encounter. Our brains were not developed enough to remember our birth, though the experience of that, at least consciously anyway, remains a mystery. And of course, until we die, our death too remains a mystery. The mystery of life and death is that they are thresholds into something else, something that will come after, but we just don't know for certain what that is. You know, a while back I took a course through a Buddhist organization, and they were teaching about the afterlife from 1,000,001 different, well, not 1,000,001, but many different religions, and it almost didn't matter what religion you were a part of. The afterlife, whether you thought it was sitting at the right hand of Jesus, or you're going to heaven, or you're going to hell, you're going to purgatory, you're in the bardo, in every religion, there's something that happens after. So that's that great mystery, because we don't really know what that is. We just know we're going to encounter it, but we don't know exactly what it is. I don't know about you, but I am planning on munching some sweet apples in Avalon from the trees that grow in that orchard. I plan to cast copious amounts of magic in ritual and ceremony. I plan to follow at least one turn of the wheel, discarnate, so I can rest and restore. And then I plan to figure out what comes next once I'm there. Like, I think, my next life, my next life is like, it's several emanations from now. I'm just going to try to do the best I can while I'm here and set myself up well for whatever that mystery brings. But I digress. Back to the triple goddess. She who is maiden, mother, and crone. So as the maiden, she is the manifestation of the union that precedes her. She is the vitality of youth with all its vigor and wonder and enthusiasm. There is a purity and innocence there in the maiden aspect of the goddess, which doesn't mean that she's clueless or unaware or stupid, but innocence, innocent, as in lack of experience. If you are an adult who has ever made love, think back to who you were before you ever made love. And I bet you can find what was innocent about you, no matter how savvy you were at the time up here. Right? There is an innocence there when we are gathering experience for the first time, and that's what the maiden is doing. The maiden possesses the strength and the vitality of youth. Artemis and Athena, Bridget and Persephone, all maiden goddesses, they are exuberant in their power and in their prowess. They are strong, energized, fully present. Their capacity to endure and be resilient is formidable. They are strong, energized, fully present. Their capacity, I said that already, and their capacity to endure and be resilient is formidable. It is true. I'll say it again. They use their intellect and energy to protect, to safeguard, to strategize, to heal, to inspire, and to witness. The maiden's powers are powerful as she gathers experiences, and they all form who she will become. Now, the mother phase of the goddess begins at the rite of passage of menarche. She transforms from a child into a woman. Now the blood of life that collects in her womb when not nurturing and growing life leaves the holy temple of her body. Life would not continue without this blood. It is the blood of life itself, the lineage that flows in our veins. This cycle of potential life-giving is a powerful rhythm. The mother aspect of the goddess is infused with power, with beauty and allure, with sensuality and strength. The goddess as mother is the great multitasker with an expanded capacity to care and to care for, to manage and handle, to choose and act. This fertile experience that she has gives rise to empathy, relatedness, tenderness, ferocity, and a very deep well of love. The crone enters at the rite of passage of menopause. And I want to speak to the queen archetype here as well for just a moment. So as we know, goddess worship is ancient, like really, really ancient. And in ancient times, as far as we know, humans weren't living as long as we live now in the present time. Just a few generations ago, living into one's 60s was considered old age. Now it's the new 40s, only with Medicare. In more recent years, however, with the emergence of the goddess after centuries of obscurity, and with women living longer, many women didn't relate to the word crone simply because their bodies have ceased to be fertile with the cessation of their monthly bleeding. The word crone took on the meaning of an ugly old woman who was either useless, mean-spirited, or evil, which is just such an interesting thing, how we equate that when something we consider ugly, we consider it bad, which is just ridiculous. And also it makes us think about who and how and what decides what's beautiful and what isn't. I mean, if in our world having yellow teeth was considered a sign of beauty, we would be spending money to stain our teeth instead of spending money to bleach them. Who decides these things, right? But anyway, so there was an argument in the goddess movement about women being postmenopausal being called crones because we didn't feel like old crones as they were depicted in our culture. And there was an argument against being defined only by our biology, which is very interesting because now many of those same women are arguing for biology. But again, I digress. Truth is, many women feel more personally powerful at and post-menopause than in youth, because now the fertility of the goddess becomes wisdom, the wisdom of lived experience, which, my friends, is very powerful. So the queen phase of the goddess was added because with longevity increasing and this part of a woman's life being so vital and powerful, it was felt necessary. But the truth is that each aspect of the triple goddess, maiden, mother, and crone, comprises a spectrum of development. For example, a baby girl is very different than the 7-year-old she will become, and even more different than the 11 or 12-year-old she will become. And yet all part of that is considered maiden. And the young teen who just came of age is very different from the woman she'll become in her 20s and 30s and 40s, and even more different than when she reaches the threshold to menopause, and yet that entire part is considered mother. The adult woman who crosses the threshold at menopause is very different than the elder that she's going to become in her 50s and 60s and 70s, and even more different than she'll be in her 80s and 90s and into another century. Yet we consider every part of that phase the crone. So there's a huge spectrum. We can expand that understanding a little bit. And so while I relish the queen phase that I still consider myself in, I recognize it as part of my crondom, So the crone phase of the triple goddess is infused with wisdom and humor, acceptance, generosity, and grace. The crone bestows her blessings upon us, and those blessings are filled with compassion and comfort. And those blessings are hard truths also. Hard truths told with enough love to make them palatable, with presence and courage and compassion. Remember that the word crown is derived from the word crone, a woman whose wisdom merits leadership for her people. And hopefully all those who wear a crown in leadership for their people provide it from the wisdom of the crone, whether as king or queen or by any other title. Now, we know we are living in a culture that persists in telling us that women are only valuable if they fit society's norms of beauty, if they are still young and fertile, and if they do most, if not all, of the caretaking of men and children. If they maximize that multitasking thing, even if it means they might burn out doing so. So this is just one reason why I love the goddess so much, because she's not singular in her emanation. She is whole. She is everything. She is maiden and mother and crone. So every phase of life is honored for the value it brings. Goddess worship teaches us that every phase of life is valuable for what it brings, not just the bloom of youth, as it were. And women who have been without feminine examples of divinity to relate to for so long find the spiritual model of divinity in the goddess who encompasses all that they are, restoring those blood mysteries of menarche and menopause and what comes before and what comes after them as holy, revering the feminine by recognizing her holiness and value in every aspect, as maiden, as mother, and as crone. Now for the crone, there is a weaving that happens in the soul of elderhood. And the wise crone goddess exemplifies this weaving of lived experience, gleaned knowledge, and intuitive synthesis. She weaves it all together in a cohesive whole. The crone weaves wholeness into the world. She has nothing more to prove. She no longer feels the need to impress. And perhaps most importantly, or more than anything, she's a truth teller. All the ways we elaborate to be approved of, to make someone think better of us, the ways that we lie to protect ourselves or to manipulate a situation, all these drop away. Crones are what they are, and there's no need for pretense any longer. We welcome the crone in the Act 3 of our lives, and by now we know that it's just pointless to lie. So Jane Fonda talks about the third phase of a woman's life as Act 3. In showbiz parlance, Act 1 introduces the characters, gives some background, and sets the stage for the story that is unfolding. Act 2, we are in the thick of that story. It's happening with all its creation and drama and conflict. And Act 3 is the resolve. It may not be the very end of the story, but there's a wrap-up in Act 3, one way or another. And it is also often in Act 3 that we learn the truth, so that the rest of the story makes sense. The crone is Act 3, resolve and truth-telling. We rely on our elders to model what it is to be true to themselves, to be true in the world, to tell the truth, to provide truth for us, and to speak their truth. And the domain of the crone includes, among other things, the blood mystery that occurs when our blood stops flowing at all, when our heart ceases to pump our blood, when the essential spirit of who we are leaves our mortal coil. The truth of death on the life cycle. Oh, blessed Samhain on the wheel, a time to reflect on these deep and true mysteries. Now we can see why, when our egos have us in fear about death, and we use denial of our death as a coping mechanism to bring relief from that fear, the religious fear we might have been taught, fear that death will be painful, or any other kind of fear that we might be harboring about it, we're not always happy to see the crone who brings these fears sharply into focus. We're not always happy to be getting older, to feel the changes that can't be reversed, to feel our age as the years roll by. And because the crone reminds us of this threshold, our egos convince us that if we devalue the truth of her, then we can escape the truth of her, which is so unnatural and really so unhealthy. So here's the greatest truth about the greatest mystery. It's the one thing, the only thing in life that we can rely on to happen. We can make our plans and work toward our goals and be motivated by all kinds of desires, but nothing is certain in life. Nothing is certain in life except that we will leave it. And death will be the door through which we leave. And the crone knows this, and she speaks the truth about it. Everyone will die, she says, some sooner, some later, but the wheel must turn, and the life cycle will spin. We come in, we go out, and we come in again. The crone is the midwife at birth, and the goddess at the threshold, midwifing death. The crone is the funerary priestess, the guide across the threshold, the sacred undertaker. In this aspect, she is often called the Dark Mother. And the Dark Mother brings news of this great mystery, this certain rite of passage, in different ways. We find her truth spoken to us in our bodies as they diminish and start to break down. We hear her truth in a chilling diagnosis. We know her truth when we find we can't keep up, when we find we can no longer perform a task that we used to with ease. She speaks through the voice of the next generation when they express concern about us. She speaks in the way when we find that we must change how we live to accommodate limitation, when we must rely on others for things we used to do on our own. These are like the little deaths along the way, you know? Deaths of identity, death of routine, deaths of the way that it's always been. They are, in a good way, preparing us for the inevitable that is somewhere in our future. Now, in a moment, Oriel and Roxy are going to sing our beloved ancestor Shauna Carroll's song, Dark Mother. Now, I accompanied Shauna to Glastonbury, or as we know it, Avalon, to perform her opus, Goddess Chant, in 2002, I think it was. And it was on that trip that she felt the first unrelenting symptom of Parkinson's disease, which is what ended up taking her life just a few years ago. Her arm suddenly weakened, and she was having trouble playing her guitar. And as a guitarist, singer, songwriter, you can imagine how disturbing that was. This song is about the first visit of the Dark Mother in her life, when the crone of wisdom spoke the truth of this mystery to her. And so while the song is about her specific encountering the Dark Mother, in it, we might also hear a message for each one of us. So ladies,
Dark Mother, ancient crone, I find you standing at the crossroads. There are choices, 1, 2, 3. Mother, will you guide me?
You ripped the guitar from my hands, threw it on the funeral pyre. Then you whisper in my ear as the flames rise higher and higher. You say, all the webs that you have spun, now it's time you are undone. At the setting of the sun, you are not the only one.
Dark Mother, ancient crone, I find you standing at the crossroads. There are choices, 1, 2, 3. Mother, will you guide me? You take me to the underworld, where all that's past has come to dwell. A place to stop, a time to rest. Some call it sleep, some call it hell. You say you have danced a rosy dance, dined on olives, dates, and figs. You thought that I'd pass you by, but all that's born will surely die.
Dark Mother,
Ancient crone, I find you standing at the crossroads. There are choices, 1, 2, 3. Mother, will you guide me? You take me to my ancestors, sit me down in the sacred circle, lay their hands upon my head. I can't forget the words they said. Sit beside the waterfall, find out what the water owns. Learn to listen to our call, decipher glyphs in stones and bones. Dark Mother, ancient crone, I find you standing at the crossroads. There are choices, 1, 2, 3. Mother, will you guide me? Lead me to the chalice well, bid me wade in Arthur's pool. There you cast a mighty spell, I'll be reborn again by you. Dark Mother, ancient crone, I find you standing at the crossroads. There are choices, 1, 2, 3. Mother, will you guide me? Mother, will you guide me?
thank you so much. So let's take a moment now, if you will. Close your eyes and go within. Take another deep breath and reconnect to your grounding cord that you sent down at the beginning of the service. And if you came in after, then go ahead and ground yourself now. And then bring your attention to your third eye in the center of your forehead. Imagine it like an actual eye, like your other two. Go ahead and open it up and look out through it into your imagination. and find yourself walking through a corn maze on a dark night in late autumn. And there are very tall torches high above the tops of the corn stalks so you can see where you're going. The corn's about 2 feet taller than you, so it makes perfect labyrinth walls. And along the way, pumpkins are placed where the pathways branch off, indicating where you have a choice of which way you're going to go. You've been wanting to take this walking meditation for a while now, especially so close to Samhain, just to stir your personal magical cauldron so close to this witchy time of year, to get the magic going for yourself, to invite the mystery of the veil between the worlds into your consciousness. So it feels good to be here, deep within this labyrinth, about 15 minutes in, encountering no one, the scent of corn and straw and damp earth everywhere, the stars shining in the sky above, the rustle of the corn stalks in the occasional autumn breeze that makes its way through the passageways, the warmth of the torches throwing light, casting shadows. Now you can see up ahead that there is a path that forks, and as you walk closer, you notice that more than just pumpkins mark this branching. An old woman sits there on a wicker chair. She's wearing a warm coat on top of her long skirt and a kerchief on her head. What you can see of her hair is gray, and her beautiful face is wrinkled and old. Her eyes, though, wow, they are knowing and loving as they look at you. And you feel as if you are standing in the presence of a loving goddess. And that is because you are. She is the crone goddess of wisdom, here with you at the center of this corn maze, just a few weeks before Samhain. So as you approach, you find yourself almost instinctively wanting to bow to her. There's something regal about her, although she is not wearing finery of any kind. It's her presence, so strong and so clear. It's her eyes looking so deeply into yours. You can tell that she senses you wanted to bow to her, and a slight smile brightens her face. Now, she does not actually speak, she doesn't verbalize out loud, but you can hear her question to you as if she just spoke it out loud. She asks you, "What is it that you want to know, my child?" Now, you didn't expect this. So take a moment in the loving presence of the crone of wisdom and consider what you want to know. What question do you want the crone of wisdom to answer for you? Think about what that is and form that question now. Now, looking back at her, you see that her eyes have never left you. You feel so safe with her, so seen and so welcome. It's intimate, it's beautiful. And you needn't speak out loud either. You can simply ask your question in your heart and she will hear it. So do so now, from your heart. Ask this beautiful, powerful crone your question. And then listen within for her answer. Remember what she says. Replay her answer in your mind. Tell yourself what she said again. Now, this crone of wisdom is beholding you with such love in this moment that you can feel it like a hug. In fact, it feels so much like one that you find yourself moving closer to her. And so she stands and she opens her arms for your embrace. Step forward into her hug. Oh, this hug, so warm, so loving, such comfort and peace it brings you. And you can sense when the hug is complete, and you pull away a bit, taking in her ancient face with your eyes. And now she pulls away and she sits back on the chair, or is it her throne? Go ahead and reach into your pocket now and find the prayer bundle of herbs you brought with you as an offering. You were going to leave it somewhere in here today anyway, an offering of gratitude for the season, an offering for your ancestors and for the magic of the corn maze. So now place it in her hands. And then you find you lean down and kiss her hands. Now you usually don't kiss hands, but this felt right. It feels so good and just so true to be with her here, where the path diverges. Now you notice what must be a spider web, but looks more like a diaphanous veil that spans from side to side across the path that leads toward the west. Uh-oh. Are you standing at the veil between the worlds with the crone of wisdom? This can't be your time. It's not, she utters within you. And while you feel relief at her answer, you also note how comfortable you feel here with her, how right it feels and how loving. And noticing this makes you think that when the time does come, and it will, you will remember this feeling of love and comfort and truth in the presence of the crone of wisdom, and you won't be afraid, and it will be okay. But right now you have no intention of entering through that veil, so you decide to take the path that leads toward the east, and you begin walking again. Only this time, walking yourself right back here into this sanctuary with us. And when you feel that you have returned, gently open your eyes and come back. Remember what you asked the crone of wisdom, and remember what she answered. You might even write that down when you get home or journal it. It might not make sense right now in this moment, but it might make sense in the future. In the song Dark Mother, I love the lyric, "I'll be reborn again at Yule," because it acknowledges reincarnation. And it reminds us that if we cross the threshold into and out of this life, there is something over there on that side of the veil that we go to and come from, and back and forth we go. The lyric sings that truth to me, and I recognize it, that our souls are eternal, but our bodies are not, and we come into them for an earthly experience in which we learn and we grow, and then we die, and we leave again, and again, and again. You know, I speak to this one way or another every year at the October service. And I do this because I worship the goddess. Insert skeleton joke here. Her nature is bare bones true in this reality. We get a body and then we shed a body. I believe in karma, in cause and effect, that our souls are on a trajectory of evolution, that we are here to do good and to raise the vibration of the planet and the world around us, to try to synthesize our hearts and our minds and our souls while we are in the body for a time, for the time that we are allotted here, and that our attempts at doing so are necessary for our spiritual growth. At Samhain, our ancestors look back at us from our altars. Skeletons are a popular choice in decor, and we immerse ourselves in this mystery at this time. It's a good time to look into your heart and soul about your own death and to think about it. Not in a macabre way or in a morbid fashion, not about how you'll die or when you'll die, but how you want to meet your death, regardless of how or when. How do you want to meet your death? What do you want the condition of your soul to be at that time of transition? How do you want to be leading up to that moment? It's a good time to prepare for it by thinking about it. Now, this time of year, death on the wheel of the year. To create a sort of template for your soul to live into when the time comes. Or should I say, create a template for your soul to die into. When we take the time to make peace with this deep mystery, we find motivation to take care of our business, making it easier on those we leave behind, making arrangements for our estate, about what's to become of our remains. The wisdom of the crone tells us to consider our legacy. And there's something about tending to these responsibilities that is so liberating, and it frees you up to live more fully, more peacefully. It's so satisfying. When I contemplate the crone in my spiritual practice, I feel relief. So just to be clear, I am not suggesting in any way that we should rush toward our death if we are not ready or we are not there. Rather, I am suggesting that embracing the truth of death on the life cycle, and that means our own death someday, actually amplifies our joy in living. This is a beautiful thread in the weave of the crone's wisdom and wholeness, that acknowledging this truth with our full presence, instead of shying away from it or denying it, it serves to heighten the beauty of life while we are still here living it. It's a paradox, but it's true. What the crone weaves into wholeness is all she knows from her time as a maiden and her time as a mother and the time that she has been a crone. And what she knows is that life is ever-changing. Nothing remains the same. Life comes in and life goes out and life comes in again. She weaves the entirety of who she is, the entirety of who we are, the entirety of the life cycle into being, and it creates a beautiful tapestry of all that there is and how we are a part of all of it. We are not separate from it. We are part of that whole. We are it. We are a part of that truth. We are a part of the wisdom of nature and the naturalness of life and death and life and death and life again. The crone makes sure that all of this happens exactly as it must, keeping the cycle turning. And when we turn toward the beautiful crone of wisdom and remember that she is us and we are her, we trust that when the time comes to meet her at the threshold, we will happily surrender, because it's natural to do so when we get there. We'll look forward into the mystery. We'll look forward into the mystery with our spiritual eyes open and curious. Approach there with wonder, taking it all in. What's this gonna be like? And we'll know that there's nothing to be afraid of. There's no boogaboo over there. That was all a bunch of lies they told us, keep us under their thumb. And most of all, we will trust that she will be there with us, guiding us on, holding us, a wise presence for the transition. And when that moment comes, all we have to do is let go.
Divine Mother, I hear you calling me. Holy Goddess, I taste your love. Your grace and wisdom washes over me, cleansing my body, my mind, and my soul. And oh, I surrender, letting go of control. And now I remember, it is through your precious love that I am whole. Divine Mother, I am your daughter. Holy Goddess, I am your son. This is the end to all separation as we embrace the truth. We are one. And oh, I surrender, letting go of control. And now I remember it is through your precious love that I am whole. These are the hands of the goddess. She makes the plans for you and me. These are the arms of the mother. She holds the key to all this mystery. And oh, I surrender, letting go of control. And now I remember it is through your precious love that I am whole. And oh, I surrender, letting go of control. And now I remember it is through your precious love that I am whole. It is through your precious love that I am whole. It is through your precious love that I am whole.
You know, that gorgeous song was written by Susan Chyatt, who was the one who introduced our community to Shauna Carroll. They were dear, dear friends. And they're both on the other side now. So we still get to feel their beauty in their music. The Wheel of the Year is a magnificent thing. As we walk the wheel, as it continues to roll forward in time, we gather the experience of everything there is. We frolic in joy, and we swoon in ecstasy, and we rage with a vengeance, and we weep in sorrow. We dream and we plan and we work hard. We win, we lose, we give and we receive, we rest and we reflect. I believe we come here to walk this wheel for our spiritual growth, and when the time is right, we surrender and step off the wheel until we are rested and integrated, and we choose to come on back. The totality of this design, I think, is just perfect, and we are a part of this perfection. If there's any part of you that thought there was anything about you that wasn't perfect, I'm here to tell you, you're part of that perfection. Why wouldn't we embrace this perfection? Why wouldn't we embrace this with our whole hearts and our minds and our souls? What better thing to surrender to than perfection? I can't think of one. So my friends, as autumn progresses on the wane, And the nights grow longer and the darkness deepens as Samhain ushers in the season of winter and the veil thins to gossamer. May we feel the loving presence of our ancestors on the other side and know the crone of wisdom who stands at the threshold. May our beloved dead remind us of the preciousness of life. May we embrace the wisdom of the crone for the truth that she brings, the truth that we can rely on. And if you are lucky enough to encounter an old woman, listen to and consider what she has to say, because you're in the presence of a holy crone. Blessed be. So this is where we open up the floor to our community to offer up your prayers. If you have a prayer that you'd like to offer up, feel free to just speak out loud and say it when you're finished, and say it loud and clear so everybody can hear what it is we're praying for. And when you're done, then just say blessed be, and we'll move on to the next person.
I want to say a prayer to my great-granddaughter who will be passing through a phase of her life, turning 15 in the Mexican tradition. I will be able to be there to welcome her.
How lovely. Blessed be.
I have a couple of prayers. One is my cousin's husband just passed away. His name's Bill. So blessing for Bill on his peaceful transformation and his whole family and their grief. And the other one is we finally got approval for the kidney donation. I'm going to give a kidney to my brother, and it's set for the end of November.
Blessed be.
I want to say a prayer of protection for my sweet cousin Talia, who lives in Tel Aviv, and just a general prayer for peace in that part of the world. And I also want to say a prayer of healing for a good friend of mine who is going to have a really painful, sounds like a jaw surgery with a long recovery time, and so a prayer of healing for her as well.
Blessed be. Any other prayers today? Pat?
As she so bravely is looking at a lot of ending things.
Blessed be.
A prayer for my friend. He's unhoused and has like a DoorDash, but definitely needs a more stable job. He has a daughter with special needs, and he has some barriers to employment and housing that are keeping him from having good options. So I just hope he can get connected to good stuff.
Blessed be. May all our prayers, spoken and unspoken, be heard and answered. Blessed be. All right. So in a moment, we're going to pass the love offering baskets for your donations, and we will sing while we do it, because we sing while we do just about everything. Just to let you know, in Gaia's Temple, we tithe 10% of whatever comes into our love offering baskets on the day of the service to other nonprofits in alignment with our mission, vision, and values. Today, we are tithing to the Rainforest Action Network, which campaigns for the forests, their inhabitants, and the natural systems that sustain life by transforming the global marketplace through education, grassroots organization, and nonviolent direct action. So know that 10% of whatever you put in our basket when it comes by is going to go to the Rainforest Action Network. Thank you so much in advance for your generous donations. They are deeply and greatly appreciated. So I'm just going to pass these baskets down. Actually, Pam, would you do me the honors? And we sing. And there are lyrics to that too, Noemi, that can go up there. Thank you, Mother Earth, for your gifts of love today. Thank you, Mother Earth. We are following your way. Thank you, Mother Earth, for your gifts of love today. Thank you, Mother Earth. We are following your way. Thank you, Mother Earth. Thank you, Mother. We are following your way. Thank you so much, everyone. So, since we're thanking, we're going to thank our fantastic musicians here today on piano, Kathy Sestrap. Thank you. Our singers, ladies, please stand one more time. Roxy Dunaway and Oriel Lighten. Beautiful job. Thank you. I want to thank our tech crew in the back there, Eric and Noemi, running the show from back there. Thank you so much. And I want to thank my board of directors, without whom we would not all be sitting here. I wouldn't be standing here, I can tell you that for sure. Thank you so much. So I'd like to end with a closing thought, and this closing thought today is one of my favorite poems, and it's by a woman named Samantha Reynolds, and she writes, "I'm not old," she says, "I'm rare. I am the standing ovation at the end of the play. I am the retrospective of my life as art. I am the hours connected like dots into good sense. I am the fullness of existing. You think I'm waiting to die, but I'm waiting to be found. I am a treasure, a map, and these wrinkles are imprints of my journey. Ask me anything. Blessed be." All right, we release the elements and we sing, and the lyrics go up there again one more time. Thank you, Mother, for the earth that is your body. Thank you, Mother, for the earth that is your body. Thank you, Mother, for the earth that is your body. Thank you, Mother, for your love. Thank you, Mother, for your love. Thank you, Mother, for the air that is your sweet breath. Thank you, Mother, for the air that is your sweet breath. Thank you, Mother, for the air that is your sweet breath. Thank you, Mother, for your love. Thank you, Mother, for your love. Thank you, Mother, for the fire of your spirit. Thank you, Mother, for the fire of your spirit. Thank you, Mother, for the fire of your spirit. Thank you, Mother, for your love. Thank you, Mother, for your love. Thank you, Mother, for the waters of your sacred womb. Thank you, Mother, for the waters of your sacred womb. Thank you, Mother, for the waters of your sacred womb. Thank you, Mother, for your love. Thank you, Mother, for your love. Thank you, sky. Thank you, ground. Thank you, Mother, won't you spin me around? Thank you, sky. Thank you, ground. Thank you, Mother, won't you spin me around? Thank you, sky. Thank you, ground. Thank you, Mother, won't you spin me around? Thank you, sky. Spin me around. Thank you, Mother, for your love. Thank you, Mother, for your love. Thank you, Mother, for your love. Thank you. All right, we end the service with one big circle around the room, if you would. Join me. Aw. Or maybe it's an amoeba around the circle. There we go. And we sing our final song. The circle is open and unbroken. May the love of the goddess go in our hearts. Merry meet and merry part, and merry meet again. Blessed be, blessed be, blessed be. Thank you so much, everyone. Please stay for some fellowship with us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To blow these candles out.